Waymaker Institute exists to develop high-capacity and high-character leaders. We really believe that these men and women will lead the church to greater health and influence in this world. Our academic, intern, and resident students are developed through a combination of education in the classroom, spiritual formation environments, and ministry training within Waymaker.Church. This vision ultimately goes well beyond us. It's investing in the global church, unleashing heaven on a broken and hurting world. We have a former student, Kyle Major, who's been living this out over the last year after being sent out from Waymaker.Church to be a church campus pastor in Pennsylvania. Check out his story.
Hey there, my name is Kyle Major, and I served at Waymaker.Church for 2 years as a Connections resident. And when I came on staff at Waymaker, I was a young leader that just started seminary, and I had been in leadership positions before. I was actually leading the young adults group at the time when I was interviewing, but I was also waiting tables at the time, and I really felt pressed on my heart to be serving at a church. And even if it meant working part-time, even if it meant I wouldn't be making a lot of money, and honestly that step of faith was probably the seedbed for all the growth that occurred in my time at Waymaker. And that's not to say that there weren't other challenging or faith-filled moments. I mean, in my short 2 years on staff, I was definitely pushed outside my comfort zone as both a leader and a Christ follower. But those uncomfortable moments that the residency just kind of forces you into, as well as the leaders that I got to rub shoulders with each day, those two things really heavily impacted the way that I viewed church, the way that I viewed leadership, the way that I viewed ministry, and even the way that I viewed God. And so there would be times in the residency that my own insecurities as a leader would just come pouring out. And it's in those make it or break it moments that being surrounded by such wise counsel on staff not only kept me in ministry, but it made me into a minister, and honestly just a better all-around follower of Jesus. So the residency really allowed me to lead and fail on a level that was safe so that I could learn, and it afforded me the opportunity to then come here and serve at a high capacity with confidence and excitement. Parker Hill is a multi-site church that has 3 locations spread across the northeastern Pennsylvania region, and I serve as a campus pastor overseeing our Clark Summit location. So northeastern Pennsylvania has been labeled a rather dark area for many reasons. Our area has faced what I would say is a lot of religious trauma, as well as leadership trauma. In more recent history, our region has been plagued with corrupt leaders in both the more secular and sacred realms. And so with that has come a great distrust in both political and spiritual figures. And then subsequently a disengagement from each of those institutions overall. So for me to come back to the area where I grew up and be a champion for spirit-led obedience and radical generosity and every other value I picked up in my time at Waymaker.Church, I've seen God use that to inspire many to step out in obedience and even take a first step in their journey with Jesus. So from leading a staff to shepherding a campus, I can honestly say that I wouldn't have been able to do this effectively or even remotely in a healthy way if it weren't for the residency. So thank you, Waymaker.Church.
Your giving not only helps fuel ministry here in the greater Lynchburg area, but it also fuels the future ministry of leaders all over this country. You can give towards Waymaker Fund now at Waymaker.Church/fund.